Or work for what? Does it work for the Border Patrol to allow them to have the access they need to be able to better process people that are trying to get across the border? I don't think so, and that's why we asked for it to be removed. But this idea that just there's no vetting and there's no proper immigration enforcement going on at the border just does not comport with reality.
So we're in Naco, Arizona. We were driving along here on the border wall, and we actually look up and we see a gentleman at the top of the border barrier here with a rope on a ladder, using his cell phone and using binoculars. So we stopped, we pulled over, and we immediately saw 3 men in full-on camo with backpacks run into the bushes. And after we were here for a little while, it began to be very apparent that they didn't care that we were here at all. They started sending migrant after migrant over the border barrier using this yellow rope that you can see here, and they were just hoisting them down, lowering them down to the ground level. So right after that,
unbelievable. Unbelievable.
They ran off into the bushes, but you can see he has his binoculars. They're using their cell phones. As soon as somebody crosses over, they're able to help guide them through the bushes and let them know if Border Patrol's coming, if Border Patrol is out there, and where they need to go so that they can evade law enforcement. Now, we did watch them, again, lower down several migrants and no Border Patrol to be found. So as far as we know, they're going to contribute to what DHS confirms to me as more than 570,000 known gotaways since October 1st. And that number does not contribute to the more than 2.1 million encounters that we've seen this fiscal year alone. Now, we did ask them, are there more migrants on that side? They said, no mas, no more.
Yeah, right. We're going to believe those guys. Unbelievable. Isn't this what we need, folks? This is exactly what we need. Oh, right. That's absolutely true. Man, love the flag. Love the people. Salute you guys. This is what we need, folks. Well, this is certainly what this senile, dementiated president is doing to our country. As you can see, the trail of crap, the trail of diarrhea that this man is leaving. This is the stain that he's putting upon the United States of America with his policies, with every single thing. Every time he walks, he basically shits all over everything that's good and great about this nation. Unbelievable, folks, but this is the true picture of what's happening in our country today.
President Donald J. Trump secured our border and stopped illegal immigration. Now our border is wide open and deadly drugs are pouring in.
Our country is under invasion. Our border is open because Joe Biden has ordered it to be open. He has shredded our system and he's destroying our country.
It's not too late. We can save America. President Trump will fix our borders, restore safety, and put America first. Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for.
This is just another great picture, folks. Just another great picture of our men and women defending our southern border. It's a beautiful picture, folks. This is exactly what needs to happen.
Incredible people, an incredible job you do, and we will be there for you. Everyone knows we need a barrier, we need a wall, whether it's steel or concrete, call it whatever you want, but we have to have it. It's common sense. It's very easy. We have to take the politics out of this, and we have to get down to business.
Adding more razor wire as we speak right now to make sure that we are doing even more to secure the border. We are going to make it impossible to enter Texas illegally, and that includes maintaining the National Guard on the border, building more border wall, just like what President Trump put up, as well as extending the razor wire wall in the state of Texas. And as long as there are illegal immigrants crossing our border that Biden is not stopping, Texas, in order to alleviate congestion in small little towns like Del Rio and Eagle Pass.
Great nation has had this in common: great walls. The Athenians had the most beautiful metropolis in the world. It was an open target to foreign navies, though, since Athens was perched on the coast. It was a wall that made the city impenetrable during their war with Sparta. The Byzantines fortified their city with walls that towered over 40 feet tall. For over a millennium, it prevented enemy armies from penetrating. The most famous wall, the Great Wall of China. For decades, American politicians have traveled to China and marveled at its 13,000-mile-long barrier. Since America's founding, both parties have protected our border. It is common sense. Everyone inside of America, Republican or Democrat, requires protection.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also
Remember
a
this
nation
speech?
of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
We simply cannot allow people to pour
Remember
into the United
this speech?
States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
No great nation can be in a position where they can't control their borders.
Folks, take a look at this here. Record-breaking migrant encounters. These are encounters, folks. These aren't the 500,000 to 1 million of what we call the gotaways. Look at this. The population of Cincinnati, almost 310,000. And in December, 302,000 encounters. In other words, the population of the city size of Cincinnati is what we've encountered. Seattle, almost 750,000 people. Year to date, migrant encounters, almost 750,000 folks. How can we sustain this? How are we going to be able to sustain this? It is unsustainable, folks. Unsustainable.
No, you may not. You may answer my question.
You're not.
Is that your testimony, yes or no?
Senator, you're not allowing me to answer your question.
I am allowing you to answer. I'm not allowing you to filibuster.
If you take a look at the pace of immigration in 2018 to 2019,
you're refusing to answer. Let's move on. Let's move on to gotaways. Gotaways are the people that get away that you know about. Now, what happened under your administration? Gotaways consistently down at this low line. Boom, you get in. And they go from below 180,000 to 600,000. Now, I'll tell you this about a gotaway. You don't know, among those 600,000 a year, you have no idea how many are murderers, correct?
That is precisely why the
correct?
number of gotaways...
Do you know how many of those are murderers?
That is precisely why...
So you refuse to answer the question. You know how many are rapists? Do you know how many are rapists? This is a question. You're a lawyer. You know how to answer questions. Of the 600,000, do you know how many of them were rapists?
Senator, this is why
So again, the answer is no. Let me ask you this. Do you know how many of them are terrorists? And I don't want to, Senator, here's my lecture on this. Do you know how many of the 600,000 gotaways were terrorists? Yes or no?
Senator, we are focused on the
You refuse to answer that as well.
Absolutely. He has no clue.
What's the result of massive gotaways? Well, one of the results is drug overdoses. And we now have, last year, over 100,000 overdoses who died, the majority from Chinese fentanyl streaming across the border. Now, you told Senator Cornyn you care, but look what has happened under your policy. When you open up the border to the worst illegal immigration in our nation's history, people die. You claim you care. Mr. Secretary.
Doesn't give a crap.
That is a lie. You know, some months ago, Karine Jean-Pierre stood up at a White House briefing and said, people are not just walking across the border. Was she telling the truth?
Senator, you are
Was she telling the
so
truth?
profoundly disrespecting.
Was she telling the truth?
22 years
okay,
of government service.
you get to answer questions.
Who gives a crap about your 22
Senator,
years of service, you moron?
All right, you're refusing
Federal
to answer. If
prosecutor,
you look
what an
at, she was
ass.
lying. And she was not lying on her own. She was lying on behalf of the President of the United
Yes,
States.
she was.
Now, the photograph.
Look at his face, smug piece of crap. What a smug piece of crap he is. Look at that
She
face.
was lying on behalf of the President of the United States. This is a photograph from just one day along the Rio Grande of hundreds of thousands of people walking across the border. You have allowed this to happen. The photograph that was before. What are these wristbands?
I don't know what they are.
You
Senator.
don't know what they are.
What
Mr.
a
Secretary,
retard.
you just testified to the American people you're incompetent at your job. Because I've been to the southern border, and if you go to the southern border, along the southern border, you see thousands of these wristbands because the illegal immigrants wear them. The drug cartels, every color corresponds to how many thousands of dollars they owe the cartels. You have turned these cartels into multi-billion-dollar criminal organizations, and these are modern-day leg irons because these are children being sold into sex slavery, and you don't even know what they are. That is astonishing. Mr. Secretary, how many children have been sold into sex slavery under your administration?
Senator, we are taking it to the cartels.
How many children have been sold into sex slavery?
Do
Do you know how many children have been sold
He
into sex
doesn't know.
slavery?
He's a clueless piece of crap. Come on.
Mr. Secretary, I want to say to you right now.
Folks, all you have to know, all you have to see is that smug POS. This smug piece of crap. This unbelievable, traitorous, treasonous piece of contemptible, just no good. I mean, this is just, they're doing this on purpose, and we know it, folks. You know they're doing it on purpose. Look at this smug little smile over him with his nose in the air. He knows maybe he's squirming a little bit. I don't even know if he really is. He knows he just sits there in the chair at a Senate hearing, gets to hear the senators, asking questions. Ted Cruz did an absolute superb job, but that's all they've got. They've just got words. They don't have any teeth to go after these people. They can't impeach them, or they try, and then the Democrats don't give a crap. And they just sit there. He didn't even know what the wristbands were. I'm sure they're lying through their collective derriere, folks. They're lying through their collective derriere. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. You've been watching the Dr. Nasser Sheikh Show. I've been your host. My name is Dr. Nasser. If you've been done so already, we'd love for you to subscribe to the channel, like, share, and follow. You all know what to do. Take a look at our other video links above and below. Comment what'd you think. And I'll leave you with my final thought, which is, when you're right, you're right. And when you're left, you're wrong. Until next time, folks, take care and stay safe.